All right, this is the first day of the second semester, Pre-Algebra lesson 7.1. We are solving two-step equations here. Okay, I'm going to remind you how to do the one-step equations, each type, okay? There's 4 things to do. One-step equations are this: x plus 3 equals 5. What do I do here? First thing, line down the equal sign. Then look and see if the variable's happy. Is he happy? No, he's not alone. He's a hermit, right? He wants to be alone. Who's with him? The 3. What's the 3 doing to him? Adding. How do I get rid of plus 3 then? Minus 3, minus 3. They're gone. X equals 5 minus 3 is 2, right? Easy peasy. You have that. Okay, what about this one? We'll do y minus 4 equals negative 10. Line down the equal sign. Is the y happy? No, he's not alone. There's a negative 4 with him. How do I get rid of that negative 4? Plus 4, plus 4. Got to be careful here. Y equals negative 10 plus 4, negative 6. You've got to be able to do that kind of quick, right? Negative 6. Easy. So you know how to add and subtract to get, to solve equations. All right, now let's do this. 3, I'll do negative 3m equals 18. Line down the equal sign. Is the variable happy? No, not alone. Who's with him? The negative 3. What's the negative 3 doing to him? It's multiplying him. How do I get rid of multiply by negative 3? Divide by negative 3. Divide by negative 3. M equals 18 divided by a negative 3 is a negative 6, right? Easy. And then if I have y over 5 equals 10, line down the equal sign. Is the variable happy? No, not alone. He's being divided by 5. What's the opposite of divide by 5? Multiply by 5, multiply by 5. Those 5s are gone. Y equals 50, right? And if you really want to look at this really quick and go, okay, did I do it right? Just plug in 50 for y. Is 50 divided by 5 10? Yes. Yeah, so you did it right. Again, how long should that take you? How long should 2 seconds, right? You're just looking back and going, oh, right, that makes sense. Those are one-step equations. We did that in chapter, 1. Two-step equations look like this. We're going to combine some things. It would be, 2x plus 3 equals 15. Okay, line down the equal sign. Nothing changes here. Now we're going to do this. Here's the rule. There's a rule when it comes to two-step equations. You go in reverse order of operations. You have to undo it. You're going to make x be by himself. So to undo this and get x by himself, you have to go in reverse order of operations. So then instead of doing parentheses, exponents, multiply, divide, add, and subtract, you go, what? Add and subtract, multiply and divide, then exponents, then parentheses. Does that make sense? You do reverse order of operations. So when I look at this and go, okay, is the variable happy? You go, oh, no chance. He's not alone at all. Who's with him? There's a 2 and a 3. 2 and a 3. So you have to decide which one to do first, right? If you got to decide which one to do first. So when you're solving an equation, you go in reverse order of operations. So then which one will I take care of first, the 2 or the 3? The 3. How do I get rid of that plus 3?
Subtract 3.
Minus 3 minus 3. 2x equals 12. Now I divide by 2, x equals 6. Let's go back up there. Let's plug it in, see if that makes some sense. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 3 is 15. We did it right. Does that make sense? Let's do this where we forget to do the right order. Let's do it in a different order, just so you can go, okay, what if I divided this by 2 and divided this by 2? X plus 3 equals 7.5, right? Minus 3, x equals 4.5 is 2 times 4.5. That would be 10. 10 plus 3 is 13. Is 13 equal 15? No. So then remember, the order you do it in is reverse order of operations. Now, I'm going to show you one thing really quick. This is not today, but I do want to remind you of this. If I have this 2x plus 3x plus 1 equals 11, line down the equal sign. This is for later. Okay, this is for like the next couple of days. I just want to show you though. When I say you do reverse order of operations, it's once everything, once each side has been simplified, the first thing you've got to do whenever you're going to take care of an equation is you've got to clean up each side of the house. Is that 11 cleaned up? Can you do anything with that 11? Is there anything that you could? No. 11's by himself. He's fine. Over here, is there any way that I can clean that up? Can I simplify that side? 2x plus 3x is 5x. So I'm going to go 5x plus 1 equals 11. Now that everything's cleaned up, I can't combine the 5x and the 1, right? Now that it's simplified, now is when you go in reverse order of operations. Does that make sense? Okay. So then, let's do one here. You guys try one. Let's go 3n minus 6 equals 15. Solve that for me. I'm going to show you again because you should already be done. If you knew what you were doing, you'd be done. So watch. Here's the deal. The rules don't change just because things are bigger. First thing you do on any equation, line down the equal sign. You're separating the houses, right? You look and see, is the variable happy? Is he alone? No. Lots are going on. There's a 3 and a 6. Which one do I take care of first, the 3 or the 6?
6.
Why?
Because it's higher in the operation.
Reverse order of operations, right? We're doing adding and subtracting first. So there's a minus 6 there. How do I get rid of the minus 6? Plus 6 plus 6. 3n equals 15 plus 6 is 21. And now at this point, right, divide by 3, n equals 7. How many of you got 7? Makes sense? Okay. Try another one. Let's do, let's try this. b over 3 plus 13 equals 11. Try that one. Line on the equal sign. Variable happy? No, not alone. 3 and 13. Which one do I take care of first? The 3, because it's the smallest?
13.
Take care of the 13. Why?
Because it's higher in the operation.
It's reverse order of operations, right? We do adding and subtracting first. That's just what you do. You clear out the adding and subtracting first. Minus 13 minus 13. b over 3 equals. Notice when I do this, I do my step, bring everything down. Make it clean. It may not seem important right now. You go, oh, I'll just skip this. And okay, when things get long and ugly, trust me, 8th graders in algebra just got through where, there's like equations that have like 30 steps. You're going to want to keep things very organized, right? So get in the habit of keeping things organized. Do a step, bring everything down. Do a step, bring the rest down. Do a step, don't try and combine things and keep things clean. One dropped negative sign and the whole problem's over, right? 11 minus 13, negative 2. Now what? b divided by 3 is b over 3. What do I do with that? Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. Those 3's are gone. b equals negative 2 times 3 is negative 6. Let's just do a very quick check here to make sure we did this right. Negative 6 up here. So negative 6 over 3. What is that? Negative 2. Negative 2 plus 13 is 11. We got it. You're just going back up there and looking. Yeah, that makes sense. That should take you 2 seconds. Maybe 5. Okay. Try another one. Okay, there you go. All right, here we go. First thing, line down the equal sign. Variable's not happy. I say reverse order of operations, which is true. As we get more complicated, when you get into algebra and things get more complicated, you do have to start undoing things like exponents, etc. It's a long way from now, but it does happen. But for now, you can just go, I need to get rid of the adding or subtracting one, right? Minus 10. How do I get rid of that?
Oh, you add 10.
Add 10. So on your homework, one of the things they'll say is sometimes they'll say this. They'll say, what is the first step to do? What is the first operation you'll do? Now, they don't know. I do the line on the equal sign. They don't. If the book asked you, what's the first thing you're going to do here? In fact, the question says, state the first step in solving each equation. What would you say the first step is here? Add 10. Does that make sense? Like the line on the equal sign, that's just kind of us setting up the problem. The first step is adding 10. So when they ask you what's the first step, it's what's the first actual thing you do? So plus 10, t over 4 equals negative 6 plus 10 is 4. multiply by 4, multiply by 4, t equals 16. How many of you got 16? No? Why not? So that's the spot then, right? That's the spot. When you did negative 6 plus 10, you put negative 4. That's not true. Right? Try this one then.
I got 24 with that.
No, I don't know how you got that. What did you do? What was your first step?
I added 10.
Right? And what did you get? When you added 10 to negative 6, what did you get?
I thought it would have been 10 because 24 divided by 4 is 6 and
No,
then...
no, 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 no. So listen, this is what I want us to do right now. I want you look at your paper. That's the good thing about this is that you get to look at this and go, what in the world did I do? So did you add 10 to both sides? Gigi? Did you add 10 to both sides?
Yes.
Okay, good. So then you should line, we're gonna do this now. So these 10s are gone, do you agree? I would cross them out, cross those 10s out, right? And then you go, okay, t over 4 equals, and then what is negative 6 plus 10?
Oh, 4. Wait, no.
It is. Negative 6 plus 10 is 4. Right? Think. If I have 6 negative poker chips on the table, and I have 10 positive poker chips, when I get rid of the pairs, what's that leave me with on the table? There's 4 positive poker chips on the table. Right? Negative 6 plus 10 is 4. What did you get? You didn't get 4. What did you get? Right. What did you get?
I got 24.
I do not see how you could have gone plus 6. Negative 6 plus 10 is negative 24.
I got 24 is the answer.
No. I want to know this step. What did you get here? When you did negative 6 plus 10, what did you get?
6.
Oh, see, that's the problem. Right? So that's 4. That's where you got to be meticulous with those negatives, right? It's important. That's why we worked on that so much. Got to be meticulous with the negatives. Try this one. 13 minus 6x equals 31. Be careful with it. Watching, step by step, lined on the equal sign. This is a little bit confusing, a little bit. Okay, is the variable happy? No. Who's with him?
6x.
Who's with him?
Negative 6.
There's a negative 6 and there's a positive 13. It's important that you get that.
Oh, darn it. I messed up. I thought that was a B.
That would have been really confusing. But I need you to see this. This is important. Okay? This is important. Who's with him? There's a negative 6 and there's a positive 13. Right? So which one do I get rid of? The negative 6 or the 13? Why? Why the 13? Because we're going to get rid of all the adding and subtractings first, right? This negative 6 is multiplying him, right? So we have to go minus 13 minus 13. It looks like you might want to add, right? Wouldn't you be tempted to add here or maybe add 6? That's no. That negative 6 is doing what? What's the negative 6 doing to him? The negative 6 is subtracting that 6, that x? What's the negative 6 doing to the x? Multiplying. So we do him last, right? It's the 13 that's doing the adding. Remember, what's the difference between this and negative 6x plus 13? What's the difference between those two? I can move things around all I want to, right? I can move them around. Okay. So minus 13 minus 13, that gives me negative 6x equals 18. Divided by negative 6, divided by negative 6, x equals negative 3. How many of you got negative 3?
I got 3. Well,
Horrible.
I didn't finish because I originally did that, but I realized it was wrong, so I was going to go back and do that, and then I ended it.
I know I had to do the 13, but I didn't know what to add.
Here we go. Try this. Negative 9 minus y over 7. Oh, that one's tough. I'm not gonna make you do that one. Hold on. We're gonna go negative 9 plus y over 7 equals Yeah, we'll go with negative 12. Okay, first thing, line on the equal sign. Is the variable happy? No. Who's with him? Who's with him? Who's with the variable? 7. Is that it? If he got rid of 7, then he's happy? Who's with this? Who's with the variable? There's a negative 9 and there's a 7, both with him. We have to decide which one to get rid of first, right? Can't get rid of them both at the same time. We got to go in order. Which one do I get rid of first? Negative 9, right? Plus 9, plus 9. This is where you have to be able to do this. Why? You have to know negative 12 plus 9. What is negative 12 plus 9? Negative 3. Now I multiply by 7, multiply by 7. Y equals negative 21. Anybody get negative 21?
I did.
Did you just change it?
No.
Did you?
No, I didn't.
You drop a negative anywhere, you know, like there's, okay, you got to be meticulous.
Negative 147.
Okay. What?
I don't understand.
Okay, first of all,
What did you do?
I'm minus 9 instead of plus.
Well, but, okay, so right, okay, which I get. Why in the world do you see that there's a negative 9 there? You have to go, how do I get rid of that negative 9? What's the opposite of negative 9? Add 9. Okay?
So I did negative 9, but I got negative 21.
Here's the deal. The fun thing is that you use minus 9.
I did. So I did minus. I flipped it around. I did.
What you did is you made 2 mistakes, and that happened to offset. You made 2 mistakes with the negative, which made you get the right answer.
That's not good.
No, it's not good. So you got to hope you make an even number of mistakes on the problem so that you, yeah, that's.
Wait. So then, what mistakes did I do?
I don't know. If you did minus 9 and minus 9, that makes no sense. Then what you did here is you put minus 9, and then you still put negative 3 here, which means you made a mistake there.
What's negative? I got negative 9.
Negative 21.
It is.
This right here would be negative 21.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Oh, I got negative 3.
Yeah, that means you messed up twice. Wow. Okay, try another one, I guess. Sometimes it ends up like this, people. What if I end up with this? 6 plus, 6 minus a equals 8. I'll show you this one. I'm going to show you this one. Lined on the equal sign. Is the variable happy? No. Why not? He's not alone. Right? That's the answer. He's not alone. Who's with him?
6.
What's the 6 doing to him?
Subtracting.
It is not subtracting him. Look here. This is important. That's 6. What is he? Is that a negative 6?
No.
Isn't that a positive 6?
Yes.
How do I get rid of that positive 6? Right? That's important. This negative has nothing to do with that 6. This negative has to do with the a. Agreed? Does that make sense? So I need to go minus 6, negative a equals 2. Now, he's not happy because he's negative. Agreed? He's not happy. He's not alone. He's a negative. He hates that. Do you know what to do? How to make him not negative anymore? Here's the deal. If I have a negative 5 and I want to turn that into a positive 5, what could I multiply or divide to just turn that into a negative? Turn that from a negative 5 to a positive 5.
1.
1 wouldn't do it. If I multiplied it by 1, it would still be negative 5. So then how do I turn that into a positive 5? If I multiply by 2, now it's a 10. I got to. Oh, if I multiply negative 5 by negative 1, then it becomes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to multiply this side by negative 1 and multiply this side by negative 1. And now that negative a becomes an a. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. Make sense? Try one of those. Here we go. We're going to go 17 minus x equals 24. Solve that for me. All right, here we go. Last one. Line down the equal sign. Is the variable happy?
No.
No. He's not happy for 2 reasons. What are the reasons he's not happy? 1, he's not alone. 2, right, that's one of them. He's not alone. And he's a negative. They hate that. But we deal with that last. He wants to get everybody out of the house first. Then he'll take care of himself. That's 17. What does he need to do to get rid of that 17?
Minus
17. minus 17. Negative x equals 7. Now that he's alone, he's a negative. He hates that. How does he get rid of that? Multiply by negative 1, multiply by negative 1. They're gone. X equals negative 7. How many of you got negative 7? Does it make sense? Does it make sense?
Yes, it does. I just added 17.
Again, though, so listen, that's where people, you really need, I mean, if you don't start out doing it right, then you're just dead meat. I mean, like, my goodness. You have to look at that and go, wait a second, that's a 17. If I add 17 to 17, that doesn't give me 0. What am I do? Whatever I do here, I'm trying to get rid of that 17, right? So you've got to be careful. You've got to start out doing it right the first time. All right, here's your homework. Fourth.
1, 4, 16.
Yeah. 1 to 20 even, and number 36. Page 350. Yeah, 350.